Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I hope all is good. I'm excited to guide you through today's lesson. Whether you are here to deepen your knowledge or discover something new, I'm here to help you every step of the way. Let's get started. So welcome to Unit 1 of Comprehension, which is poverty. In this unit, we're gonna do a general introduction of poverty. We're gonna introduce the term poverty to you, and we're gonna let you know what poverty is. So let's start with launching the theme, which is theme number 1, which talks about poverty. Basically, you might ask yourself, what is poverty? So now we're gonna introduce the definition of poverty. So, as you can see in the picture, we have children who are hoping to get a bit of food. Okay, so just this gives us a glimpse of what poverty is. And you can't even afford food. Okay, so let's check out the definition. Poverty is the state of being poor, when a person or a community lacks the financial resources and essentials for a minimum standard of living. So poverty is the state of being poor. So when you are poor and you can't afford the essentials of life such as food, water, shelter, and so on, you are considered poor and you're living in a state of poverty. So poverty is being poor is when you can't afford basic needs in life such as education, such as food, such as water, such as shelter, such as clean clothes, all of these. This means not having enough money to meet basic needs like food, clothing, shelter, and healthcare. When you can't even afford to go to the hospital or to get administered in a hospital or to buy medicine when you're sick, when you can't even afford to buy a proper house, when you're not even living in good conditions, clothing when you can't even dress yourself properly. Food is when you can't even afford food. Like in the picture here, the children are asking for food. They're literally begging for food so they won't starve to death. In simple terms, poverty is when people do not have enough money or resources to live comfortably or safely. It's not like so basically poverty is when you're not comfortably living, when you're not meeting basic needs of life. No, you're actually fighting to meet these basic needs such as clothing, food, shelter, and healthcare. You're not living comfortably. No, you're living below comfortable, just struggling to meet basic needs like food, clothing, shelter, and so on. Now let's go on with the statistics on poverty. So let's check out these statistics. So global poverty rates. Global poverty, as of recent reports, about 9.2% of the world's population, or around 719 million people, live on less than $2.15 per day. So, as it clearly shows here in the reports, about 9.2% of the world's population, or about 719 million people, live on less than $2.15 per day, which is not even enough to afford or to buy their basic needs such as food or to pay their rent or to live comfortably or if they get sick so they can go to the hospital or buy medicine and so on. It's not even enough, which is like basically $2, which is not enough. It's like they're only getting paid $2 a day, and it won't equal to more than 150 or $100 per month. It won't even equal to that, which is not enough at also to live comfortably or to afford life as they should, which is the international poverty line. All of these, they live below the poverty line. Child poverty. Nearly 1 in 5 children globally live in extreme poverty. Again, extreme poverty, which is the maximum. This affects their access to education, healthcare, and proper nutrition. As we all know, children need proper nutrition, proper sleep, proper living condition. They need education. They need to go to schools in order to have a healthy childhood. All of these children, they're forced to not have all of this. They're forced to struggle. They're forced to not meet the bare minimum of life just because of poverty. So they end up either stuck in a cycle of child labor. They either end up dying because of sickness. They either end up having malnutrition because of not meeting the proper needs of nutrition. Poverty in education. Children from poor families are 3 times more likely to be out of school than children from wealthier families. Of course, uh, children or people who don't have enough money, who are poor, they're most likely to not go to school because they have to work or because they can't afford education. Because schools cost money. How would they be able to afford school if they can't even afford basic needs in life, such as shelter, water, food, and so on? Lack of education is both a cause and a result of poverty. So again, because you don't have money, you can't go to school, and it's a result because, of course, no money, no school. Let's continue with more statistics on poverty. Hunger and poverty. More than 820 million people worldwide do not have enough food to eat. Hunger is often both a consequence and a cause of poverty. Again, so basically, more than 820 million people worldwide are suffering from starvation because they don't have enough money in order to buy food. So they end up what? Dying from hunger and poverty, of course. Poverty in urban and rural areas. Poverty rates are generally higher in rural areas compared to urban areas. Of course, people in villages are more likely to be poor because they're surrounded by a simpler, minimal lifestyle, while urban areas, life is more civilized, so of course, people who can afford to live there are more likely to afford food. In many developing countries, over 75% of people living in extreme poverty are in rural regions. Of course, people living in villages are more likely to be poor because they can't afford life, and if they afforded life, they would have moved to urban areas. So, this was it for poverty. I hope all was clear concerning our first unit, which is poverty. Again, poverty is the state of being extremely poor. It's not having enough money to meet basic needs in life, such as food, shelter, healthcare, and so on. We'll get into more details of this unit in other parts, inshallah, and have a good day.